were having a chat earlier, and there's a notion that the Navigator CoDriver is the driving force in Finland. What are your thoughts?
Probably am, yeah. We have to stay ahead of them. We have to get to the end of the stage. Like, the driver set the records for the fastest rally in history, but we have to get to the finish line before them, so we're going faster.
Paul actually won the rally. Paul finished first, and Chris came
after. Chris finished first, yeah.
I even got to the finish line before Chris because I have to get the pace notes out. So
exactly, you
have the record.
So how that works, just to sort of put this in a perspective here, how that works is you're driving a car and the driver's driving, concentrating on driving. The navigator is telling him what the road is ahead of him. So what happens you do the recce on the Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep. So you get out there in a pedestrian car.
Regular car. Yes.
So
it's got some, it's got like bucket seats like you would have in one of the cars
but
here.
Generally speaking, it's a regular car.
But we're restricted to 80 kilometres an hour. Yeah. We cannot break the speed.
That's the real
so you're driving the road and you're calling what you see and your navigator's writing it down.
Correct.
So you're driving along 80 kilometres and you're calling it. So for the benefit of people who don't know what this looks like, we'll get it from you, Paul. Paul, sort of from memory, if you can, give us sort of a 30 seconds of what you're saying, and then we're going to ask Craig to sort of give us a translation of what that means. It's a language unto itself, and it's written in shorthand. So give us...
Us and what I do with Chris and what Craig do, we're complete opposites. We've 1 to 6. So 6 is 6 fastest, 6 gears. Where Craig is flat out.
Right.
Or we're 6. It's vice versa. So we'd have 6 gear, which is 6 right, and you have right and left, and you have a distance, and we'd have other shorthand like short, sharp, crest, jump.
So give us 30 seconds of what it sounds like.
It's a bit of an umpire there.
I need something in front of me to do that to make it easy enough. You're travelling, it just subconsciously.
So you're reading it and you're saying, 100 yards, 4th gear, right over crest.
100 metres, flat over jump, 100 metres, 6 right, 6 left, 6 right over
jump. So you're calling
slide.
this out and you're obviously ahead of the car.
But not so far ahead.
Correct. So you're there and you have to have complete trust in this navigator. Mm-hmm. You're effectively driving blind.
If you'd asked me that 6 or 7 years ago, I would have said yes, and absolutely I'm listening on every single word he's saying. Technology has crept into rallying in the last couple of years, and when we're doing the recce, like you said, which is in the pedestrian car.
Regular car, go to the grocery store car.
Pedestrian car. We have a camera, an onboard camera that records everything, and when the recce is finished, that's when my job gets really, really important. I get back to the hotel room in the night time, download all the footage from the camera, and I start to watch over.
So you're not having a few pints?
If you have time, you can sneak them in as well. But
okay, good. Just
generally speaking, you don't have a whole lot of time. But anyway.
So when he's doing this back at the hotel, what's the navigator doing?
See, we do the notes twice. So you make them and check them, and usually the driver makes about 500 changes.
He would, of
course.
First time. So he edits it.
Makes a mess of the whole thing.
You have to rewrite them all. Sure, if they listened to you in the first place, it'd be a lot better.
Way better. But they don't. They change, and they keep changing it.
But the way it's gone now, or at least I would say 99.9% of the time, but I shouldn't really be telling them, his information is more of a confirmation of what I already know.
That's
fair. So it's kind of, it's that place.
Right, it's that place. Possibly remember the whole thing.
And even drawing on from that, things have changed so much. I think, Billy, when it wasn't even pace, you were kind of at the era where it changed from maps to pace notes.
This is all modern stuff now.
Modern stuff.
Because in my day, there was none of this street car stuff. It was a proper rally car.
You did the recce in a rally car.
A proper recce. Proper. But it's hard to, actually, in fairness, it's hard to emphasise, I think, the importance of the CoDriver, because all this driving, Craig, at those speeds, it's all to do with confidence. Well, obviously, the machine has to be right, but
so it's like driving in New York City. You have to be confident. You can't give way because they'll eat you for dinner. So.
But if he's made even one small mistake and you're coming up to, say you could be doing 100 miles an hour, come up to a crest and a road, you don't know what's at the other side of it. It could be flat at the other side, there's no lift, or it could be a corner. 30 yards on, if he gets that wrong,
you're in the ditch.
It's finished, and if even if you're not in the ditch, and you have this a big moment, you say, well, no, 5 miles on, is he getting this one right?
Of
And
course,
then you
yeah.
can't.
It's a lack of confidence.
It's confidence in everything. So.
We're like in football terms, we're the goalkeeper. We can make loads of saves, but if we drop one and it goes in the net, it's just like making a mistake. You're making headlines.
Right.
Where the driver's like a striker. If he crashes, sure, he has one of them, it's okay. And it's like if the striker misses in the football match, but they can do that. So when we don't win rallies, we just lose them. That's
But of course, John, it's also important to point out that they need to be ignored at times.
Clearly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.